Okay, so this will be a feedback slash critique for. Well, I guess in this situation, Bacon Maru uploaded the video, but he's more. If he wants criticism, I think I'll just do two separate videos. Excuse me. So for this situation, it's gonna be more about reckless H22 as it looked like they wanted criticism or feedback. It'll just be a Josie mirror. I think Bacon Maru is familiar. Reckless, don't know you. My name, I'm not gonna go with names. I am a nerd who likes Tekken, and I like Josie because she's a cutie pie. I am someone who is by no means a pro at this game. I just think Tekken is fun, right? And I'm giving you my feedback slash perspective based on my experiences playing Josie, playing against her, watching Josie, and just Tekken in general. And I'm simply pointing out things that I think, hey, you could have done this better or done this in X situation and stuff like that. It's just my 2 cents at the end of the day. You know, I would say take it into consideration, but take it with a grain of salt. It is by no means gospel. It's just kind of like, hey, if you're looking for some direction, here are some things you can improve on. Who's player one? Who's player two? Oh no. Okay, so Aruka player one, reckless with the fancy costume. Uh. Okay, so I don't think the decision was bad here. I think you just this is like food. Okay, this is not necessarily like a strict criticism of like, hey, you need to do this better or this or that better. This is a food for thought situation, right? Bacon Maru whiffed button in your face, and the Magic 4 whiff recovery isn't that bad. But you go for down forward 4, which isn't the worst thing because it ended up working out. You were fine. If Bacon Maru was slightly faster, they could have gone for down forward 2 for the easy whiff punish. When when the distance is ambiguous and you're clearly not fast enough on the reaction to go for a big whiff punish, aim for something that's not as commitment heavy, right? Whiff punishing with switch moves is very tricky because if you in your attempt to whiff punish with the switch entry, you're a fucking sitting duck, right? It doesn't end up mattering because they were already committing to a backdash and you're able to get the switch 3 off, which is fine. But this is kind of like that little like here's a minute area in your gameplay you can improve on. So this should have been, maybe a down forward 2. This should have been CD3, something that the distance that CD3 covers helps cover any sort of backdash, right? And it'll help cover any distance the opponent tries to gain. Whereas, down forward 4, you risk a lot by whiffing and then making yourself a sitting duck. So against an opponent with sharper reactions, it's a very tricky situation to be in. I don't think it's like the end of the world. It's obviously you survived, right? But it's more about like food for thought in the future. Consider experimenting with other whiff punish options depending on the context of the situation, right? If you're facing fast whiff recovery, aim for something that can help cover in case you fuck up your timing, basically. And that's it. Okay, so like 3 different moves thrown out, and none of them seem to really have a purpose. I don't understand the point of down 3, right? Down 3 is fucking useless. It's -5 on hit, I want to say. Let me just check. Uh, Holy shit. Yeah, -6 on hit. And if you commit to the string, Bacon Mars familiar enough with Josie where you'll risk just getting ducked and launched. You're gonna go for a tool that's -6 on hit. Sorry, so -6 on hit, and then you're going to do forward 3. Right? Again, with punish opportunity for Bacon Maro. either down 4 or 1+4, right? That's it. That's all you need. You need to make sure if you want to go for like a steal your turn move or something, don't do a move that leaves you at -6 on hit. On the chance that this is just an input error, I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but just something to consider. It's like, yes, down 4 is shit damage and whatnot, but the idea is that you're keeping yourself as a positive frame situation so that you can actually set up like actual counter hits. You're not gonna counter hit anybody when you're at -6, right? Unless the person's just like mashing. Oh no, baby, what is you doing? Reckless, please. Alright, look. I'm not going to go into approaching too much. Don't approach with CD 1+2. Right here, as we look at the distance that increases between you two, Bacon Maru is constantly backdashing, doing a little bit of sidestep, and any sort of... And they're clearly comfortable at a distance where if you do anything, they're ready for the retaliation. When you approach an opponent, don't do anything that locks you into something, right? The goal is to approach your opponent with the least amount of commitment possible. That's why wave dashes are so powerful and scary, because at any point the opponent using a wave dash never has to commit to a move. They just cancel the wave dash into a block, right? Are there times where they can get clipped? Yes, but the main goal is that at any point you can cancel it into whatever you want, and 90% of the time they can just block, right? Most people just get lost in like, oh, I'm just going to do wave into a move, and that's a whole different story. Dash block. Dash blocking is your friend. Inch forward slightly when you notice that Bacon Maru has a sort of hesitation by, okay, they're going for a sidestep here, or they're going for a move or a keep out move, right? Then you can rush in with CD3 or some other move. But just don't, at that distance, dude, what in what world, even CD, what's the longest reaching move she has, like CD3, there's no way you're reaching. There's just no way. You're overcommitted to a crouch dash. Don't do that. Just until you have a stronger understanding of your spacing, don't utilize crouch dash for approach. It's a bad habit, and it's just gonna get you killed. Oh, cool combo. Yamero. Oh, if there's noise in the background, it's my little pet rabbit. Please ignore it. All right. Josie's slash kick is actually pretty solid. I want to say it's like +6 at least. It's no fucking Rum or Bruce or whatever. +6 to 9, which is like fine. You're at a heavy disadvantage frame situation. It's similar to like if you just got your down 3 on hit. No move you do is really gonna reliably beat whatever Bacon Maru wants to do, right? And this is a situation where you just hold it. Okay. Oh. What led up to this? They knock you down. That's fine. Keep in mind that slash kicks are very linear, right? Some even more so than others. And you can, if they choose to use this a lot more, if you're perceptive, just even the slightest sidestep can make them whiff. And so try to be mindful of moving around. You don't want to challenge too much. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, it's not too bad. The unfortunate drop. Nice. I mean, you died. Sorry, Reckless. That was a good sidestep. No, it was actually pretty linear. I didn't think you could sidestep it that easily. Okay, so right here, right, again, Bacon Maru knows Josie. It's literally it doesn't even matter that it's Bacon Maru or anybody else. It's literally a Josie mirror. 3-2 forward is not a tool you want to be using just yet. You need to make sure that your opponent knows to respect you first, right? You need to focus more on quick pokes like down 4 or 1+4 or something. And not make any huge commitments like doing 3-2 forward. The string cancels are there for when the opponent respects you and doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't challenge you. In a Josie mirror, the opponent's likely going to know how minus that string is on block for that transition. And it's not like you can just press any button. You can, maybe you can press CD1, right? And maybe, but even then the transition is so negative, I don't think you have enough time. So you can't just expect them to just be like, oh, they're gonna let me cancel in their face with no repercussion, right? You have to first see what they do. Just do 3 and see what they do. Just poke at them with 3. Don't commit to the don't make these heavy commitments to these transitions until you are more comfortable with how you've conditioned your opponent. Yeah. Josie's got an easy ass Magic 4 combo. Nice. Roro Ruggy. Is that a legit thing? That's fucking crazy. You tried. You tried for the whiff. Oh, what the fuck? You pressed into that? You tried for the whiff punish. Nice. Oh, damn. That actually does go pretty far. Okay. Nice. That's okay. Oh, no, that shit. Unfortunate. If you're going to forward 4, congratulations, you have now approached your opponent and you're now at -9. Don't press any button afterwards. Your turn is over. You can be if your opponent has been jabbing a lot throughout the entire match and you want to be cheeky, maybe you can do hop kick because I know hop kick can evade jabs sometimes, right? But at -9, nothing you press is gonna even a jab. Think about it, right? Your jab starts in 10 frames, but your opponent has a 9-frame head start on you, right? 9 frames plus 10 frames, it takes 19 frames for your jab to come out, right? 9 frames of recovery versus plus the 10 frames of startup. There is no move your opponent can't press that will just eat you alive. The move 4-4-4 is fine to use, but you have to understand that once your opponent blocks it and you're in, it's over. Don't press anything until you have a stronger read that oh, I know that they're gonna do X thing, and if I press X button, it counters that. That's a different situation besides, alright, I press forward 4-4, I'm in, time to continue my offense. That's not gonna work out in your favor, especially against Josie, who has a Magic 4. Unfortunate. Right. Nice. Or, oh. I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Rip. Man, if they let that move a mid, that'd be crazy. Yeah, the hop kick really does evade some stuff. Rip. I want to say you should be able to low parry this like on reaction, right? Because there's nothing, they can't cancel into the mid or something, can they? But it's whatever. Tekken Mara, what are you doing? I mean, if they refuse to duck, 1-2-4, who are you to not use that? Let's punish it. One, two, four. 1-2-4. Oh Lord of mercy. I mean, it's if you're not oh nice. I mean, it's a fast enough like. Oh, is that the side off X? Oh yeah. So you can even on wake up. So even on wake up you can. Oh, maybe you had a bit more time there. Rip. Oh, that's an interesting wall combo idea. Like doing back 1+2 as a filler. A tragedy. A tragedy. That's why we don't use down 3. Oh my god, the no fear, dude. Just press after 4-4-3. No fear. Oh. That's like the 50th 1-2-4 in a row. Nice. Unfortunate. Okay. Where do I begin? Okay. I'm gonna do the usual stuff. Neutral, punishment / matchup knowledge, combos / Oki, and then personal opinion stuff. Neutral. All you're doing is just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks, right? Everything is just power move after power move, launch after launch or something. It's like it's a lot of aggression, but not enough purpose to it. It just feels like you're throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that Bacon Maru presses something or fucks up their timing, and any opponent can just wait it out, be a little bit more patient. And all of these like commitments to jab setups, like, oh, I pressed the button, let me just hop kick or something, and then you're basically giving your opponent free damage by just doing all these punishable moves. What you have to start formulating a game plan here, right? What tools complement each other? What are my lows that I can use to condition my opponent to make them more susceptible to my mids? What is my opponent not doing? Throughout the set, you guys were brawling a lot, blah blah blah. But then Bacon Maru wasn't really sidestepping that much. They had some explosive sidesteps for sure, right? That's got some pretty good sideward launches on you. But a lot of it at this distance, right? There was a lot more usage of just moves and not movement, right? So that can be a bit more like, okay, I don't need to rely on my homing moves as much. Let me just maybe use some more linear, powerful tools. Not quite enough to do something like CD 1+2, but it's a tough cookie to crack. But something, like down four, or doing something like, maybe not grab, but other moves, right? What Bacon Mar wasn't really like ducking that often, right? They were just stand blocking a lot the entire time, so doing a lot more CD3, doing a lot more 1+4, and then as you notice that, okay, they're starting to challenge me on switch, let me do switch one, right? And force them to duck to be more susceptible and either sacrifice their turn or something. There's just not a lot of focus in your gameplay into like, here is my overarching game plan, right? It's just, I'm going to keep throwing moves. What you could also alternatively be doing is just letting Bacon Maru do these moves, right? Like right here, you got a good launch on the CD transition. And just kind of, all right, I threw out some moves, let me hang back, see what their offense is going to be, what their retaliation is like, and then just punish, right? Josie's got one of the best punishment suites in the game, right? And it's not, and obviously Bacon Maru knows this, so he's not like, going to giving you free launches with CD3 or whatever. But you still have other amazing punishment tools that you need to be leveraging, right? Whether it's whiff punishment or just block punishment. So it's really just about, okay, utilize more tools that I know will work because my opponent is failing to show the adequate responses to them. Bacon Mar is not sidestepping or ducking. Do more lows, right? Force them, look at lows as a reason to just kind of be like, okay, my opponent's just stand blocking everything. Let me punish them for just standing still like that, right? And give them a reason to duck. Punish them for just standing there. Alternatively is, as this will be going into a little bit more on the punishment side of things, is that you need to just hang back. Just hang back, and when the offense starts, be ready with your punishment. There's a lot of punishment damage, free damage, right? Free damage that you just passed up because you were too late on the punish or you just never bothered to attempt in the first place. And that's a huge detriment to your gameplay. Think of it like this. Look at the flow of the match, right? Like, let's say we're earlier at the start. Right here, that should have been a free punish, right? You kind of go for a jab, but I just think you were too slow. You need to be a bit quicker on that, right? It's a mirror match, right? Even if it's like I'm not gonna say it's gonna be suddenly easy to get read on Bacon Maru's timings on stuff, but in terms of, oh, the Josie just did a hop kick in my face, that's a pretty easy punish opportunity and situation, and that damage and knockdown from something like 4-2-4 is significant, right? It's a huge momentum swing in your favor because now you have the life lead. You can force Josie to approach you and take more risk in trying to catch back that momentum or turn the match in their favor, right? So, yeah, let's go into punishment / matchup knowledge. It's a mirror match. You're not punishing half the stuff you should be punishing. You can't just let your opponent rock you like that with 1-2-4 into switch. You need to be challenging that with ducking, right? Doing down forward 1-4 or whatever, right? That needs to be an automatic low parry or just low block, right? It can't. That's just stuff you got to work on yourself. There's not really much else to say there in terms of how you could be better adapting to Bacon Maru's like specific play style. There are times when it's really just exercising a bit more patience, because you have these opportunities where you're just like, all right, let me just do this, and then Bacon Maru doesn't punish you. Oh damn, 4-3-4 recovers pretty quickly. They don't punish you, and then you have an opportunity to do something, right? So that tells you, okay, after I try out my opportunity to attack, after my turn is over, if I just hang back slightly, Bacon Maru will likely take a risk, which I can then punish, right? Yeah, there's not really much to say on like character-specific punishment stuff. You just gotta practice that and brush up on it. I already mentioned my food for thought on the whiff punishment stuff. Combo / Oki. Combos were fine. Oki? I can't remember what you did when you scored a knockdown. Is this just death? This, what am I doing? Okay. It's not the worst thing, right? Practice, just experiment more with tech rolls. Like, when your opponent is knocked down and they are forced to wake up into the situation, typically you'll have the advantage, right? If you just run in there and then just sacrifice your turn by running into like whatever get up kick they do, yeah, obviously that's not going to work out in your favor. But typically, an opponent on the ground has very few options that they can do, at least that you can't answer or on a good read punish pretty heavily, right? Especially if they tech roll, right? So if they tech roll, it's pretty easy for you to adjust to that and then put them in an unfavorable situation. This should have been forward 3, right? Practice against tech rolling, maybe it whiffs due to it not tracking the tech roll properly, but your opponent just woke up from a tech roll. They can't move just yet, right? Like if you follow them along and the first thing they wake up into is to blocking forward 3, boom. Now you have a very advantageous situation in, hey, you're +6, your opponent's back is to the wall, you can press whatever you want, right? So stuff like that, just focusing more on how do I maximize what is the most unfavorable situation I can put my opponent in based on this wake-up situation, right? And sometimes you have to tailor that, like, okay, I know they're going to go for get-up kicks here, so I'll just hang back and then whiff punish. Or, okay, I know they're just going to get up safely here, so I'll just dash forward, threatening to do like a low or something, and then do a throw or something, or other mid, or a mid. Stuff like that. Personal opinion stuff. Personal opinion stuff, so options that I think are neat, but your mileage may vary, right? A lot more one jabs and movement, right? You need to focus more on utilizing Josie's safety and ability to kind of like do a slight hit and run. You're not playing full on keep out, like your keep out tools are kind of whatever. You have a solid magic 4, but again, it's more about at the end of your turn, you can leave yourself in a very favorable position. Either -1 to 4 where you can still move around a bit, or you leave yourself with like decent pushback, like forward 3 + 4 on block or CD4 on block, right? Even though you're pretty minus, the pushback makes it negligible. You're basically at neutral. So leveraging more of those situations and then just kind of being like, okay, my turn is over. What is my opponent going to do, right? What is Bacon Mar going to do that I can then punish and then focus on that? Leverage your strong punishment tools more. Bacon Mar just was rarely ducking. More CD3. More CD3. Just put on the pressure on them. And then on CD3, on hit, forward 3 + 4, down 2, down back 2 if you're expecting some highs, because Bacon Mar was doing a lot of like 1, 2, 4 near the end. A lot more, or just 1 + 4, right? Stuff like that. What was I have to review it again, but yeah. Other options that I think are neat. I liked your usage of back 2, but then you kind of stopped. So it's because like they started ducking, which is fine. But at that point, that's like, oh cool, they started ducking. Let me do some of my mids. Oh, you stopped using CD 1 + 2. Like in this situation right here, right? When you got the knockdown, they're in the tech roll. This should have been CD 1 + 2. CD4 is the safer play, but it's like, okay, they just did a tech roll. They're going to be holding back, expecting in anticipation of blocking the mix-up. They're not going to be really ready to immediately challenge. Because, as we saw in the earlier matches, Bacon Mar's reactions aren't quite fast enough. They're not used to your timings, and they weren't punishing as much as they should have been on a lot of stuff, right? So with that knowledge, you can sort of leverage that being like, I don't think this guy has good reactions, so I can go for a easy like free frame advantage situation with CD 1 + 2, right? Again, it's about what is the worst possible situation that I can put my opponent in based on the information I have. I know that Bacon Maru, or I guess Iruka, whatever, is clearly failing to do X, Y, and Z. And this, while normally, like, okay, so they're failing to sidestep, they're failing to challenge you a lot, right? CD1+2 is very linear and very slow. But if the opponent isn't sidestepping that much or challenging that often in this specific situation, it is a perfectly fine move to throw them, to put that, to force them to deal with it, right? So again, look at the context of the situation you're in and leverage the tools that normally would be kind of risky, but in this situation it works out fine, right? Yeah, it's really just about more punishment. You need to play more patiently and sort of try to formulate a game plan, right? What is your end goal? Your end goal is obviously to win the match, but how do you achieve that? What are some tools you like using? I think down two is pretty fucking awesome. So I want to use more tools that I want to create more situations that either make my opponent want to duck or they get frustrated and try to challenge me. Usually because I have the life lead and I want to create, and they want to desperately try and catch up, right? So then I'll focus on, okay, I'm going to use a lot more lows, I'm going to use maybe some throws, etc., and force my opponent into being more incentivized to duck. And at that point, then I just go down two or other mid. Don't do just like, all right, let me just do hop kick and down forward two. Are there times where you want to do that? Absolutely, right? That's a huge call out. But just relying on those big high reward moves all the time will lead to bad habits in the future. You are taking more risk than necessary, right? Don't get too entranced by the reward. You have to set that up first. So focus on the setup, focus on conditioning your opponent. Hang back a little bit, try to be a bit more patient, and use your matchup knowledge and your punishment to their full potential. If you have any more questions or wanted more specific feedback, let me know. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, well, why not? I finally have time. Let me give it a shot. Okay? And at the end of the day, dude, it's just my opinions. You do you. Have fun. Play the game however you want. Alright, later.